I don't know what's going on with the music, and I do apologize, chat. So I am just gonna bring it to a firm end, and I just want to kind of say hello, everybody. We are in crunch time in SSRL. It is the final 3 races, and we have, well, like I said, 3 street tracks, and it's a 3-way battle for the Drivers' Championship. We have got Singapore tonight, Monaco next week, and then ending off with Saudi Arabia. So how do your standings look as of right now? Well, in the Drivers' Championship, because Herman had his 10-second penalty overturned, he now takes the win. So that means that Rushda Siri obviously loses ground due to his DNF, so he is now demoted all the way down to 3rd. That means Herman and Andre take the 1st and 2nd spot, but are only separated by 8 points. And then Rushda Siri behind, separated by 18 points from the leader. He needs a good result tonight. Mr. Wouter, well, it's very unlikely now that he will win. He is just about mathematically out of the Drivers' Championship. But if something happens to Herman and Andre, he'll definitely be up there to take it. But he is 4th at the moment and looks like he's got that all secured. And then it's Jolly Boy John and Andranan, who has fallen down to reserve. He has given up his full-time seat to what is now Race Chase. So he will now take that seat at the Kick Selber. Then it's Pleasant Snake in 7th. With 70 points, then Danger David in 8th, of course, was a late joiner to the full-time running in the Red Bull. Then Evil in 9th, who we did not see last week. Is he going to be here this week? As far as I know, that is a yes. And it's Trugster in 10th, Daryl in 11th, Kovachka 12th, Energetic 13th, Scott, who is also given up his full-time seat in the Haas, now is 14th, Fellow Son 15th, Quincy, of course, now in the Williams from the Aston Martin, got his best result this season in Baku. That brings him up 6 positions from 22nd to 16th. Then it's Toby, the other reserve driver. He is 17th now. Skid Solo up a couple of positions as well, thanks to his solid points finish in Baku, which we'll go through in just a second. Then Traban in the other reserve down to 19th. Then it's Enzo rounding out the top 20 drivers. Then it's Dan, Sinful, Quan, Moksha, Tark and Gino, Rowley, and of course Race Chase all the way down there, only because he was a reserve driver, but now that he is full-time, can he make up a few positions before the end of the race? And of course, rounding out the 28 total drivers that are participating in one way or another, it is Frankie. But first of all, I do want to say hello to chat, and especially hello to Swansky. Oi, oi to you! Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. I hope life's treating you okay. We will cut to the race feed in just a moment. Of course, we are now beginning to load into qualifying, and we will go through everything in just a second. So, of course, this track, which is Singapore, was first opened in 2008, and it has been in use since that's, well, I think since that subsequent year. But don't quote me on that. I couldn't find accurate information. But the track consists of 22 turns because it has gone through a couple of adjustments, which comes out to a length of 4.9 kilometers or 3.070 miles, a lap record of a 1:35.876, which was set by Lewis Hamilton in the W13 Mercedes back in 2023, which was only a year ago, and we all know what happened to George Russell on the final lap of that Grand Prix. And in case you don't, well, basically Lewis Hamilton put some pressure on him. He nipped one part of the wall which stuck out and then went crashing in, and it was at, if I remember correctly, it was just at, it was at the Singapore Sling, so turn 10. And speaking of turn 10, there have been a couple of adjustments. So initially, a lap time around here was about a 1:45 when they first started racing here. And the fastest, and actually, before the changes began, Kevin Magnussen actually held the record of a 1:41.9. But then once the changes came in, so there was a removal of the chicane at the Singapore Sing at turn 10, and then, of course, there was the removal of the bridge section. So now you go between turns 15, well, turns 14, 15, and 16, instead of cutting right to go through the bridge. You now just go straight through into turn 16, that S section, that right and left, the chicane, as one would know it as. But so, in actual fact, my apologies, it's actually 19 turns now, so I've got to correct myself there. I do apologise. As already somebody's making their way out. It's either, I think it's Danger David in the Red Bull. We'll just confirm that. Is it? I don't have a clue. We don't have a trap map up at the moment, so that would help a great deal, I imagine. Let's get that up for us now. It's not Danger David, I'll tell you that for you. So that will be his teammate, which is Energetic 6. That makes the most sense there. So he was the first one out, but the kick Sauber of Enzo came out just ahead of him first, but lets him back through. So Enzo and Energetic now. Energetic did get a podium last time out. 3rd place there. He wasn't too happy with how the race proceedings turned out last week. Now, if you were here, as Tabran now joins us, I don't know if he's invited, but all race seats are now full up, so he might just be an observer for this coming evening, which is perfectly okay, I assume. Oh, now he has left, so we will no longer worry about that. But now a flurry of cars making their way out from the pit lane, ranging from both Aston Martins, both Red Bulls are now out, and I believe both Williams cars as well. No, that's the Alpines. I always get those two mixed up. But of course, we now have Enzo leading the field. Oh, well, no, we don't have Enzo leading the field away. It's Energetic 6 leading the field away, so he will be the first one to get things underway. One thing you have to be careful of in Singapore, as it is a street circuit, and of course is part of our finale, we're going to have 4 street circuits in a row. Of course, it's Monaco after this. And one thing that city circuits share in common with each other is the walls. They are very close to each other. Help, I accidentally summoned Max Verstappen. Nobody is Max Verstappen in this league. I will tell you, we've got a 3-way fight for the Drivers' Championship between Herman and DeAndre and Rush the Siri. Now, of course, we're going to see, if you want to be technical, a teammate in the sister car Red Bull, who is getting proceedings underway, it is Energetic 6. Let's go on board with him, and you can see how close these walls are. Now, of course, approaching turn number, I believe that was number 3 there. It indeed was. Now we're going through turn number 5 and on, coming up to Memorial Corner now, which is turn number 7, just here. You just see how close those walls are, and it's very easy to make a mistake. Now, I believe, from what I've been told, is that if you do go too close to the wall or you make contact with it without damage, you'll actually do damage to your tyre wear, and it could go down by something like 5 to 10%. So you really don't want to be touching the wall at any point in this race. So it's going to be very important for your tyre wear. It's very likely that somebody else will be making that mistake, and for our championship contenders, it is going to be very interesting. Now, Haas and Kick Sauber are going to be looking to bounce back from this race, as we're seeing Energetic 6 on a decent lap here, but he just looks to be suffering from some sort of understeer, so it's preventing him from getting the best exit out of the corners. So he's definitely losing time, not only on the straights, but also on corner exit, and that's really where you don't want to be losing time. He just needs a bit more oversteer in the car, which you can get by either stiffening the suspension or stiffening the rear anti-roll bar, just to get that car turned in, and that's going to be a 129.009. So in actual fact, that wasn't a bad lap. We will now skip to Enzo, who actually goes with a 128.930, who is next across the line. It's going to be Ron of the Red Bull, so that'll be Danger David, I believe, who is not actually coming in. So that's one of the V-carbs then. So is that Herman the German? It certainly is, with a 127.697, leading the championship by a whole 8 points, I believe. And he has gotten pole position quite early. I didn't go through the constructor standings, so I'll go through those now, as Andy Andre now jumps himself to pole position with a 127.3. Fellow Son as well came in 4th, at Energetic 6 at the moment, behind by all of them, but they've missed a Wouter in with the time as well as Evor. Evor and Wouter 3rd and 4th, and Evor the closest of the two drivers, 6/10 separate him from the lead. Jolly Boy John might have been on a warm-up lap there, as then Kavachka might have also been on a warm-up lap. They qualify 9th and 10th for now, but it's now Rush the Series, one we need to look out for, who is not on a flyer. So somebody just came in, and what is happening there? I thought he was parked up somewhere, but he's just coming through the final couple of turns now. I'll talk about the constructors in just a second. It's 2nd place, right where it needed to be, and separating the championship contenders. Of course, he needs to be within this mix. He needs to finish in front of both of them realistically to stand any sort of chance in the championship, because he is currently 18 points behind in the points, if that makes a bit of sense there. I do apologize. And at the moment now, if he's looking to finish ahead of both of them, he would need the points to be on his side. At the moment, his gap to 2nd place, which is Andy Andre, is only 10 points, so he'd really love to get ahead of him as well. If he was to finish 3rd, he would finish. If he was to take fastest lap, this is all considering, it's all very approximate. At the moment, he would gain 10 points on that, on Andy Andre there, so he would get a crucial result. But of course, we still have a Grand Prix to play out. And at the moment, this is all very temporary in these early stages of qualifying. Kwan is also on a flying lap, and he is just coming through. Well, he's gone past the Singapore sling. He is now approaching that tight turn of turn number 13. Now coming down to turn number 14 here. Just about to complete his lap. He's just coming onto that long straightaway now. Looks like he got a good exit there, so this could be a decent lap. Saribo as well came in 12th, but with 132.111, so he has still got some time to find, and 3 seconds nearly to his ex-competitor of Kovachka. But let's just go on board with Kwan. He has been really running at the back for what has been, feels like, the entire season. It's going to be not going to be a quick one either. It is 12th place, and Race Chase was on a warm-up lap as well. We also have Trugster on a lap, and of course, Trugster's season, well, it's been what a misery, and it only continues here. Currently 12th place with a 129.228, and of course was an early championship contender, but due to a string of DNFs, which continued last week as well, it has been it's not been fun for him, and he is only 12th place as it stands right now, but might have time to find. That might have been a warm-up lap, might have been held up by traffic. And Herman the German is also on an in-lap as well. Enzo on an in-lap as well. The Kicksauber's getting double DNF, and in terms of their Constructors Championship, well, at the moment, Kicksauber are lying in 6th with 89 points, only 2 points ahead of Haas as it stands right now. But Ferrari quickly on the chase as it stands with 85 points. So only 4 points separating 6th and 8th. And if I'm being very honest with you, 5th place to McLaren, if you consider Sauber's gap, that is 35 points. So not impossible for Sauber if they can get something together. But due to double DNF, due to double DNFs for Haas and Sauber in Baku, they really do need the bounce back here in Singapore. And of course, with another street circuit, will their bad luck continue? We'll see how that all goes on, but at the moment it's Energetic 6 still out on track as of right now. So I'm just going to check on what the tires are. He's definitely been out on those tires for the longest, and he's invalidated the laps, so that strategy not quite working out. He's not been able to keep it. Whoa! Tarkin Gino with a dramatic crash at the Alpine there. Just quite came into your foreground there. Carbon fiber went flying there. Must have lost the rear end on exit. I'll try and have a word with him just before quali. Well, just before the race if we can, but at the moment that meant that both the Red Bull and the Kicksauber's times got cancelled out, and at the moment the Kicksauber's occupying 9th and 10th as it is right now. So we'll continue on, but now Rush Nassiri and Andy Andre on an outlap. Now, of course, for those of you just joining, there was an overturn in the result last week in Baku. Andy Andre had his win stripped away as Herman's penalty for the 10 seconds was removed. So, as of right now, he has now, well, he's now leading by 8 points. Do I have the list? What list? I do apologize. His fellow son there is now up. Well, I think somebody has gone and improved on their time. I thought that was Mr. Wouter, but it looks like he's just going onto a push lap. I've definitely missed something here. So let's just check on Mr. Wouter's first sector time as we approach turn number 4 here. It is, well, a 10th up, so let's actually stay with this for the time being. Andy Andre has started a fastest lap behind him as well, so let's stay with this, and then we'll cut to Andy Andre and Rush Nassiri as well. Rush Nassiri also just coming through turns 1, 2, and 3. How do you have the list? How do you... oh, for goodness sake. Inside joke, chat. Don't worry about it. Anyway, Mr. Wouter now approaching... Well, going past Aurora Corner, also gone past the Singapore Sling, is now at turn number 13. Approaching now the straight that separates turn 13 and 14 there. And the camera not doing a good job of following the car in front. But again, another 10th up in sector 2, so now it's all about sector 3. Might have been a bit of a compromised exit there as he now comes onto the last big straightaway. Usually you would have to peel right to go onto the bridge, but not anymore. They have since removed that, and Mr. Wouter a bit wide through there, going through 16, but got it all together for 17. Let's see how this affects his time. Looking very quick indeed. What's the time going to be? It's 4th position ahead of fellow son who also got a time in. Let's cut to Andy Andre down by a 10th in sector 2. Don't know what he's done in sector 1, so let's just stay with this. Looking more composed than Mr. Wouter did. So here we go, coming through the last couple of turns now. What's it gonna be? It is no improvement at all. Down on his time, if anything. Now we cut to Rush the Siri, who's had an awful sector 2, 9/10 down. You can see his teammate Quan in the background there, just on his outlap, and Trugster as well is also on an outlap. So let's see who is behind on the track map. There is a V-Carb, and it is Jolly Boy John as well. He's currently on a lap as well. He's also improving on a personal best. Let's see what he is up to and go through the rest of the lap with him through 16 and 17. Then it'll be through turns number 18 and 19 to finish off this lap. These fast double left-handers, I absolutely love driving them. And it's 6th position, a whole second improvement. And that is why Visa Cash App Racing Bulls are leading the way in the constructors, because Herman and Jolly Boy John get themselves close together in the top 5 on a consistent basis, and they are leading the constructors by nearly 60 points. I'll get the exact figure in just a second. In fact, more than that, 63 points. So this Constructors' Championship really is theirs to lose throughout the rest of the season. 2 Kick Saubers have now started their outlaps as well, and their Ferrari has just begun. I think that is Skid Solo just beginning his flying lap. It indeed is. He's just coming through the 3rd turn, number 3 right now. And then he'll be through turn number 5 through here, because that little kink which leads off is considered turn number 4. And now coming through to the straight here, we go through turn, is it number, yeah, it's number 6 now, then number 7, which is called Memorial Corner. We've had a yellow flag there for one of the Kick Saubers. Let's cut to what's happening there. Not a whole lot. Let's go back to Skid Solo's lap. And then we'll keep an eye on any changes. Jolly Boy John on his in-lap at the moment in 6th position. Improved by a whole second to get into the 127. So now the top 7, oh, well, if you want to say the top 10, well, the top 10 is a bit more of a dramatic split, but the top 9 only separated by just over 0.8 of a second. We should be in for some very close racing, and of course, one 18-minute session to decide positions 1 to 20. Chark and Gino in a collision earlier on in the session. We didn't see the camera angle there in terms of what happened, so I do apologize there. Looks like there's a camera glitch. But as of right now, as we have a caution in sector 1 for a slow-moving vehicle, I think that's of the Ferrari, so that will be of Evor, who is currently in 8th position. Now, last time out, this was actually my first time commentating on SSRL. It actually ended in the wet, and I do believe only 11 drivers finished. I'm not trying to put any sort of curse on this evening's race. That's just how it played out. As Trugster jumped up into 2nd, I completely missed that. I do apologize, chat. But Trugster up into 2nd place in the Haas, throwing a spanner in the works for our championship rivals here. Top 3 are now in the top 4, and there is an unlikely soul in there in 2nd place, and that is the Haas of Trugster. And my word, what this would mean to him to get a great result from here, and of course accrued the most amount of penalties in the first 4 to 5 races. Accrued a string of DNFs, but if he could come to Singapore here, where it's easy, as Enzo has now retired as well. He's had a crash. That is through the Singapore sling just before turns 11 and 12. So Enzo, with a moment there, will finish. That's the end of his qualifying session. So 2 DNFs in this session. That's Tark and Gino, and now Enzo as well in the Kick Sauber. Not the start they would have wanted. But at the moment now, a couple of drivers on their outlaps and a couple of drivers on their inlaps. So a lot of strategies beginning to play out in qualifying as Trugster makes his way into the pits, as just Energetic 6. Race Chase has begun his flying lap, and a Ferrari of Evor, I think, is ahead of him. So we will cut to Evor, because last time out, he actually was the winner here. So we will see how this all plays out. There's a caution in sector 1 for a slow-moving vehicle, but nothing to it as of right now. Andy has begun his final outlap as well. He's on 2-lap old softs. So we'll see how that goes. And Evor improving by nearly a 10th up in sector 1 on his personal best. Remember, the game is measuring personal bests as of right now. And if you got a 10th, that can really pull you up through into the top 5 if you can also find something else in the lap. So this could be good from Evor. If he can pull it all together right at the dying embers of the session, it would be an epic lap, that is for sure. And of course, there are 2 V-Carbs behind him as we speak. One will be Herman, of course. He's also on a flyer. Just going to cut to him briefly. He certainly is. So we'll cut to him once Evil has finished his lap. And that's a 3/10 improvement here. If he can find something in Sector 3, then this could be pole position for the winner who was here out last time. That was also a podium with Andy Andre and Pleasant Snake. But at the moment, Snake nowhere to be seen this week, replaced by Rowley in the reserve. So Rowley, of course, doesn't score points for the championship, for the Constructors' Championship, that is. But here we go, Evo completes his lap. It's 3rd place. That is a very good lap from him. Now we cut to Herman the German, who just starts another flyer. So he evidently had a mistake there. And now we'll continue on again. He must have been on his outlap. But now Andy Andre is up by 3/10 here. So let's go on board with the temporary pole position man as it is right now. There's a McLaren going slowly who keeps out of his way. That is either Rowley or Kovachka. I will tell you that in just a second. But at the moment, Andy Andre looking to improve. If it's a 1:27.0, I do not see that being beaten. Here we go. Oh my word, that is a 1:26.8. That is an impressive time. Fellow Son up into 3rd as well. I think that is it. I think the Romanian driver has got pole position unless if Herman or Rush the Siri have a response. So Saiju saying he had a pretty horrifying VR crash here in Singapore as we have a slow-moving vehicle of Andy Andre. So that was Rowley or Kovachka. I still can't tell who it was that was out of the way on his flyer, but we'll just stay with Herman the German for now. We have got who has got a very important flying lap to complete. He really needs this to be good. I think it's slow as well. So he's actually calling down. I'm sorry, I caught that a bit late there. So we'll cut to Rush the Siri in 3rd place. 18 points behind the leader. This is an important lap right now for Evor. He has got all or nothing riding on this. He goes very close to the wall there. Out of turn number 5 there, now coming up to Memorial Corner, and he's a 10th up. It's not enough at the moment, but if he can string a couple of sectors together, I thought that was going to be invalidated, but that was right on the edge. Rush the Siri knows how important this is, and at the moment is proving to be, wow, look at how close he's getting. He's got his teammate up there who should get out of the way. Qualifying is now completed at the moment. The top 2 is Truckster and Andy Andre, but does Rush the Siri have anything in the pocket? He is the most improved driver between Season 2 and 3. And at the moment, Kwan is ahead. He doesn't want his teammate holding him up. We see a Williams in the background. For one reason or another, 2/10 up. So this is overall a 3/10 improvement. Is Kwan trying to get slipstream from Rush the Siri? I think he is, because look, he moves out of the way now. Great play in the Mercedes camp there. Getting slipstream. Drivers completing their lap. Everyone fellow confirmed 3rd. Race chase in 10th. But we're looking at Rush the Siri. Here we go. It's 2nd place. It might not be pole, but that's good enough for him. And now Herman the German could also be on a lap as well. Let's see what he's up to. He's got traffic ahead. And actually, that was 5/10 away from pole position, so it wasn't really close. Andy Andre finding something special as Mr. Wouter now retires down in 8th. Couple of drivers still trying to complete their laps. At the moment, we have Jolly Boy John on a lap as well, and I think Truckster is on one as well. Oh, that's a Red Bull into the wall there, so Truckster now into the pit lane. Herman really needs a good final couple of corners here. What can he do? Not enough. It's 6th place. That's not where he would have wanted to have started, considering his direct rival is on pole. That is bad news for the V-Carb driver. But anyway, Andy Andre confirms pole. Rush the Series 2nd. Truckster in 3rd. Fellow Son out of nowhere in 4th. Evor in 5th. Of course, won this race last time out. Herman the German 6th. Jolly Boy John 7th. So the V-Carbs rounding out 6th and 7th. Mr. Wouter 8th. Danger David 9th. Race Chase 10th. Energetic 6th in 11th. Enzo, despite the retirement, can keep 12th position, so he got very lucky there, but nearly 2 seconds off the pole position time. He will need to find something in the race, that is for sure. But anyway, it is really looking like it's going to be one hell of a race, which we don't know how this will look, but more importantly, for everybody else, let's go through the overall grid. It's Andy Andre in pole, Rush the Series 2nd, Truckster 3rd, Fellow Son 4th, Evil 5th, Herman 6th, John 7th, Wouter 8th, Danger David 9th, Race Chase 10th, the American driver, 11th is Energetic 6th, Enzo 12th, Kovachka 13th, Rowley 14th, Quan 15th, Quincy in 16th, of course, got a great result last time out in Baku. Sinful in 17th, Skid Solo 18th, Ibo, the reserve driver in the Haas in 19th, and Tarkagino with no time and a DNF 20th. So we'll see how he comes through the grid once we go racing. Now, I do believe we are on a 5-minute break, so... and thank you to Saiju for pinning that message. So I'll just have a quick look at the SSRL Discord, because I do believe we are going to be on the break. We indeed are 5 minutes. We will be racing again at 19:55. I'm just going to take a quick little break, and then we will be right back with you. So don't go anywhere. We have one hell of an exciting race to come. It's going to be great. See you in just a couple of minutes. Hello everybody, welcome back. We are going to go cut to the race feed because we should be underway for our formation lap, which will decide the final 3 races coming in to the finale. And there we go, we are underway already. So here we go. It is going to be, well, it's just going to be tense. Now, I'm just going to briefly get the music I want loaded up, and then we'll be ready to count down the grid. So here we go. For the last time, if you have just come by, here we go. It is on pole position, your favorite Romanian driver, Andy Andre, in pole position. And then as we enable everything else, it is Rush the Siri in second place there. Of course, 18 points behind the leader, and he, well, we'll go through that in just a second, but second place him, that's important. Trunkster, a string of DNFs, looking to gain some confidence going into the final few races of the season, maybe go for a charge next season. It's Trunkster in third, fellow son, fourth, going full-time in the Aston Martin, and is proving his worth so far. Evor, your winner here, last time out in 5th position. Herman the German, championship leader by 8 points to Andy Andre. He's going to want to make progress as soon as possible. He starts 6th, and his teammate Johnny Boy John will surely be willing to help out in the 7th. Mr. Walter trying to consolidate 4th position in the championship, starts 8th. Danger David in 9th now. Race Chase in 10th, rounding out the Kick Saubers. Rounding out the top 10 drivers. Then 11th is Energetic 6, teammate to Danger David. Then Enzo in 12th, looking to actually try and finish this race, unlike in Baku. Kavachka and Rowley round out the McLarens for 13th and 14th. Quan in 15th. SSRL Quincy in 16th. Simple 17th. Skid Solo 18th. Sir Ibo, the reserve driver for the Haas, in 19th. And Tarkangino as well, who is 20th as well, a reserve in the Alpine, remember. And here we go. So Andy Andre now coming across the final couple of turns now. He is ready to line up all 20 drivers on the grid. We'll be racing in just a couple of moments. So right now, who are we waiting for? We're waiting for just about everybody. There's a train of cars coming through the grid, and we will be, well, we should be racing in just a few moments. We'll see how this all goes, but it's tense times on the grid for everybody. We have your former champion starting on pole position and really needing to take something away from this race. We've got Rush the Siri as well, who's looking to bounce back from a DNF last time out, and Herman the German on a from winning ways to Baku to 6th. Really needs to find something in this Grand Prix. He just needs to try and get ahead, but here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's going Singapore, and Rush Nasiri with the better start there. He tries to get alongside Andy Andre, and he's looking to the inside on the first turn. Can he get it done? No, he can't. There's Trunkster going up on the outside there of turn number 1 and 2, and it's Trunkster ahead of Rush Nasiri. Andy Andre gets the start that he needed. Rush Nasiri as well. He's already up to 4th. Trunkster as well, but there's been something happening with Herman. He's down 2 positions, down to 8th already. So it's all gone from bad to worse for him. And now, where's Rush Nasiri? He's down to 5th. He's got Evil for company. Evil goes round the outside of Memorial Corner and gets that done. It's Mr. Wouter who jumped Herman the German and Jolly Boy John as well. So that's going to be really unfortunate for him as it stands right now. So Herman now down to 8th and needs, well, it's got a lot of work to do. Trunkster with something to prove, but fellow Son and Evil, well, they're just trying to get some glory from the end of this season. They don't really care what happens around them. But Rush Nasiri won't have wanted this as a start, and neither will have Herman. So at the moment, Andy Andre running away with this, and he's going to be on top if things stay as they are. But I promise you, in this league, round a city circuit, I promise you this will not stay this way for 31 laps. It will change, and it will be unpredictable. I promise you that, as now Rush Nasiri is trying to catch up to all of this, but also Energetic 6 had a great start there. He's jumped up a few positions. Let's see who have been the biggest winners and losers from the start of the race. If we look at the position changes, and there you go, Rush Nasiri down 3 positions from 2nd to 5th. Herman German down 2 as well, and Enzo down 2, Rolly down 2, and then all the rest of them are down by 1. So not been a good start for some, but yeah, it's mostly medium and hard tyres. And that'll be why Herman has dropped off at the start a little bit, because he's on harder compounds. The mediums are those softer compounds, of course. The softs, barely in use at all. They just drop off after lap number 3. But now well, a bit of calm before the storm is happening, but we have a fight with Rolly and 1 there for 15th position, Rolly up there, and now for 18th it is Skid Solo and Sinful going side by side since Memorial Corner, but Skid Solo wins out that battle for now, and he gets ahead, and that is quad with a 3-second time penalty already for track limits, so that is unfortunate for him, and that is really early on, and Sorebo down to last. That's not the start he would have wanted, but anyway, look at that. Trunkster, fellow Son, Evil and Rush Nasiri really starting to gap each other. Here we go, DRS activated. What can Rush Nasiri do? It's hard to overtake round here, and it is going to be a really hard task to try and find somewhere to get a move done. And now he has DRS again, so he should hopefully, no, DRS, this is not a DRS zone, so I do apologize there, chat. Evil has made a mistake. Rush Nasiri now really needs to take this opportunity if he can, and he has done so off camera. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about that, but he's got that done. He's now up into 4th position, and his recovery drive now begins. Can Evil fight back through turn 1? But now we're seeing Mr. Wouter in the background fight for 6th, and that is a bit forceful from Mr. Wouter. I thought he got past, but apparently he didn't. It was Jolly Boy John who stays ahead. And at the moment now, Herman is forced into a battle he really doesn't want to be a part of. And in fact, Jolly Boy John gets out of the way of his teammate. He knows what's at stake for him, and it's a full championship here. And now we're going to see one of the Red Bulls go 3 wide with the V-Cop. It's the sister teams trying to overtake one another and sort themselves out. That's a Red Bull of Danger David down the inside of Jolly Boy John, and he gets that done. Rush Nasiri now 2.5 seconds away from fellow Son. Really needs to find something. And something quickly, as Trunkster as well. Andy Andre has gotten away from Trunkster, and now fellow Son might start putting the pressure on for 2nd place. At the moment, it's really all been clean with all of the drivers as of right now. No DNFs to speak of as of right now. And, you know, it's all been entertaining action so far. So, at the moment, Andy Andre, of course, leading the way. But, of course, one safety car will undo all of that work. And I'm sure that's going to be in the back of his mind and probably influencing his strategy as well. Or he might have a strategy regardless of what happens. So, we'll see how this all plays out over time. But Herman the German with not the best of starts. And that'll be due to being on the hard tyres, I would imagine. And Mr. Wouter really throwing a dent into his evening as it stands right now. But it's still early days. Mr. Walter really just fighting for 4th place in the championship. He's got no stakes with Herman the German as it stands right now. As now we're seeing the two V-Carb, well, V-Carb and a Red Bull, the sister teams fighting with one another again through turns 1 and 2. And at the moment, it is Energetic 6 trying to find a way past Jolly Boy John with not the best of starts. They are both V-Carbs are down on their starting position, so it's not been the best. But we do have a battle for 2nd place that was going on, but that's come to nothing as of right now. And now Energetic 6 trying to find the inside, has to cut to the outside very briefly, and he's got that done. Oh, well, I thought he did, but he tried to hold it round, but Jolly Boy John having none of it, but now he comes back through turn number 8. But Jolly Boy John just keeps that door shut, and it has been very tense between those two. Of course, both Red Bulls do not want to have a moan at each other when we come to the end of the action. And at the moment, well, Energetic 6 still holding firm as of right now behind that gearbox. But now we're going to start to see the DRS take effect, as now Herman is right on the back of the Williams of Mr. Wouter here. It could be Russia Serial of Gold Tires. He missed the grid box. Oh, I see. So, well, it's certainly influenced his race. So he's currently 1.8 seconds to 3rd. So at least that gap is coming down for his own sake. So we see a lockup in the foreground there of your frame. But I don't think that's really going to affect anything. But Russia Syria holding 4th for the time being and slowly bringing that gap down to 3rd. But of course, if 2nd and 3rd do start fighting, as we saw a change there, there's all sorts of changes going on. It's side by side through turns 2 and 3 for 2nd and 3rd. And it is 2nd place given to Fellow Son. But Trugster on the fight back here. Can Fellow Son hold that round the outside? We'll stick with this for the time being as we go up to Memorial Corner, which is coming right up. DRS, who will it activate for? It's for nobody at the moment. I thought it was for the Haas there, but apparently no dice. And at the moment, it is the Haas and Aston Martin that stay line astern for the time being. And now Jolly Boy John under pressure again from Energetic 6. He's trying round the outside again. Can he get it done this time? Yes, he does. Jolly Boy John very respectful with the room there to his sister team. And that is all said and done. It is now SSRL Energetic 6 up into 9th position, but how long will he hold that for is another question. But look at Andy Andre here, away by 4 seconds. Fellow Son with a lockup there, nearly going into the back of the Haas driver there. Here we go though, Ruster Siri now with DRS to the car in front. He's done a really good job to hold off Evor in the background. But you know who this really helps? Is Ruster Siri more than anything, and of course Andy Andre, with the fact that Herman is so far back as of right now. Let's see what he's up to. Herman should probably have a go through here. Nope, he doesn't. He holds firm for now, but now we're going to cut to Ruster Siri, as he should be ready to have a go into turn 1. But DRS, of course, is activated for Sun as well, so this will come to nothing, I imagine. We'll keep an eye on that background there, and at the moment, no move being made on the Williams from Herman. So we now cut through to the battle for what is essentially 2nd place and involving 4 cars. And DeAndre has driven off into the distance, and honestly, they need a safety car to bring him in check. Here we go, though. Fellow Son has been the closest he's ever been to Trugster, and he gets that 2nd place with relative ease. I don't think Trugster's going to even bother fighting that back, you know, and he doesn't. He just holds firm for now. And at the moment now, as we see, I think Danger David and, well, Energetic 6 and Jolly Boy John was swapping round. Sorry about that. Nearly misled you for a sec. But now, Herman did get past Mr. Welter there for 6th place. So now he's starting to chase down this battle, which may become a 7-car train for 2nd place. And Fellow Son is at the moment leading the way as they come across the first bridge round the circuit. But at the moment, it's still holding firm for now, but the Aston Martins 1 and 2, and what that would mean for their Constructors' Championship, because Jolly Boy John all the way down in 10th. This might bring Aston Martin some gains towards, well, especially if that was to give them a chance at fighting for the Constructors. A 1-2 would be really effective for them, but at the moment, we still have a long way to go, remember, so it will be 25 laps to go at the line as we begin to sort things out. But of course, I have to... Oh, wow, there's been an incident somewhere. It's Sir Ibo in the wall, but he's continuing on, so we will cut back to the action for 2nd place for the time being. But there you go, Haas in a bit of danger there, as Danger David now taking away 7th position from Mr. Wouter, so he's dropping like a stone to water as the race goes on, and those hard tyres for Herman beginning to come alive. Maybe he will have a charger, and DeAndre, if he can work his way through this field, which is easier said than done. We won't lie to you about that. Truckster with DRS on Fallow Sun, unable to get close, and neither is Rush the Series, but Evor as well wasn't able to get close either, so it just remains at a stalemate for this lap, and I believe that will be the last overtaking opportunity, unless if someone here makes a mistake. But at the moment now, Truckster, of course, I was talking about Truckster before all of those battles got underway, and Truckster, you know, he's coming to this race a string of DNFs for the Haas team, and what this would mean to get a podium and maybe even try and fight for the win if there's a safety car to come, as Jolly Boy John now gets a 3-second penalty on the one track you really don't want him to, and that would probably bring him down to about 14th position, so that would bring him down to Enzo if things were to remain as they were right now. Of course, pit stops do need to happen, so in case if you're new to League Racing here on F124, you do need to swap compounds like you do in real life. And so that is one of the few things that can be replicated in video games, but not absolutely everything. But anyway, here we go now. Rush the Series is dangerously close to the back of Truckster, but also Fellow Sun has kind of concertinaed them together, as Herman the German as well starting to gain on this as well in the background of the frame there. 1.4 seconds separate him, and this battle, of course, separate him to the car behind, so they still might drag each other into this. As it is right now, Enzo has made his way into the pits, and that is why you're seeing a swap for position. Enzo at the moment coming off of hard tyres, so maybe he has damage. But anyway, now Rush the Series trying to make this a 3-wide battle for second place. Can he make the time? Oh, there's contact with the Aston Martin Mercedes. That is not what he wanted. Is there damage to that front wing, though? It doesn't look like it. There might be floor damage, but for Herman, that is a lifeline, and Rush the Series getting desperate there where he didn't need to. You saw him make an optimistic dive. He just needed to be a bit more conservative on the brakes. He's still within the battle, though. But I know Fellow Sun will not be happy in that cockpit. He'll be thinking, what on earth was he doing there? Going from that far back into turn 7, which is a notoriously tight angle there. Not much room for maneuver, but now Evor and Herman occupy 3rd and 4th. And Fellow Sun and Rush the Series now occupy 5th and 6th after that, but Fellow Sun with another mistake, and that allows Danger David through. Oh my word, it goes from bad to worse for Rush the Series. What has happened to his car? Is there any visible damage? I don't see any, but maybe Saji was talking about this earlier with me as we were in a voice chat. Maybe he's gone into the wall there and it's damaged his car somehow. Or damaged the tyres, and he's just not got the wear anymore. And look at that, Evor and Herman making moves on Truckster for what is now 2nd and 3rd. Truckster dropping like a stone to water in this battle, and Fellow Sun already back with it. But Rush the Series will surely be looking at 3rd position in the championship now. He's going to be so bitterly disappointed with how this is all played out, and now down to 8th. He needs a safety car, which will be an absolute lifeline at this stage of the race. But Herman into 3rd is what exactly he would have wanted, and on hard tyres as well, so he could look at bringing that gap down to the Romanian driver. As Jolly Boy John and Kovachka swap positions, but of course Jolly Boy John with that 3-second penalty for track limits, it's not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. At the moment, Enzo as well came out onto the soft tyres. We saw him pit earlier on, so I wonder if he did have damage to the front wing, and that's why he's gone and done that, and is now trying to throw himself into an odd strategy in case of a safety car. So that's probably what I would say has happened there. But anyway, now Herman will have DRS on Evor, who's of course not a championship contender. Evor actually won this race last time out, as Truckster and Fellow Sun do battle in the background, coming down into turn number 14. Fellow Sun gets that done on the Haas driver, and Danger David as well has just been chipping away at this. He's been consistent and has definitely had a good drive so far in that Red Bull, and is definitely flying the flag between Energetic and himself despite a DNF last time out. But here we go, Herman now surely close enough to have a go at Evor here. Here we go, he's going to have DRS. He's not going to have enough time going into turn 1. The straight just isn't quite long enough for him to go down the inside. But now, as Kovachka, well, Jolly Boy John has had a couple of positions there in the background swapped. Well, and Quincy as well has gotten involved, so definitely something happened going through into turn number 1. But now we'll cut back to this battle for 2nd, which is really poising up to be a great battle, and they might be helping each other to catch up to Andre. You never know, but Evor goes defensive into Memorial Corner. Doesn't matter though, Herman gets past, but is off the track, so he has to give that back to Evor, but he's still there. Even if he is offline, there's a bit of contact between them potentially. Didn't quite get a good view of that there, but that only holds them up. So now that's an 8.7 gap to the leader. And now Herman and Neville side by side into the turn 10, the Singapore Sling. Luckily, they don't go side by side through there. That would have ended in tears. We saw how desperate you can be when Rush the Siri went side by side into Memorial Corner earlier on, and that was just 2 or 3 laps to go. 10 laps out of 31 completed and 12 to go as it stands right now. And at the moment now, we've got a really great battle happening here for second place. I think the leader is just too far away. Andy Andre has really turned on the heat and has gotten away. What a drive from him so far, you've got to admit. And now, just coming through to the next lap, and now we have 21 laps to go, and this battle for second place will restart between Herman and Neville. I don't know why they were going side by side through there. Herman just getting a bit desperate. That's just really a shame for him, but Rush the Siri as well has been dropping back to Mr. Martin for 7th. He's actually in the traps of Energetic 6 at the moment, so it's really not been a good day for the office for him. But he is starting to close that gap down to Mr. Walter, so he might still be making inroads on this battle before the end of the race, but a pit stop will have to come. And now, Herman the German is going to finally make that move for second place. Can he now look at bringing that gap down? As well, Mr. Walter and Truckster do go side by side there into Memorial Corner, and it's Mr. Walter that gets it done, as Energetic 6 of Rush the Series as well. Rush the Series night goes from bad to worse with every lap that counts over. And at the moment now, Rush the Series really looking at becoming 3rd best in this championship. And with Mr. Walter potentially finishing ahead of him as well, he's going to have to try and hang on to that 3rd place. And honestly, Rush the Series will be so bitterly disappointed, I imagine, if things don't stay as they are. And, like, you know, the drivers are doing a great job keeping it clean so far. Yeah, it's been one hell of a Grand Prix up to this point. But now with Herman up into second place, a battle of strategy will now begin, because Andy Andre's tyres, of course on the medium, that softer compound will wear out quickly, but those hards can last a very long time. So we'll see how that plays out over the Grand Prix. But now the battle for 3rd will surely begin to ramp up. Herman will be looking to try and create a cushion to Edmore behind, already down by 8.8 seconds there, but we'll see how that affects things. Now there's a battle with the Ferrari and the Mercedes of Kwan. Skid Solo and Quell going side by side into turn number 14, and then it is the Ferrari that ends up on top. Truckster as well, fighting with Energetic 6 yet again, as Rush the Series trying to find some sort of solace in the battle here. He's in a battle for 7th. And the German is actually beginning to bring down that gap. That's 8.6 seconds. So Andy is surely forced into doing something as Energetic 6 gets that 7th position back in the background. But in terms of Herman, this is perfect for him now. He's got control of the pace, and he's great. Well, he's breaking down that gap to Andy, so Andy will be forced into a stop. Now, of course, he has got 8.3 seconds, so there's a long way to catch him. But this means that Herman can really control things now in terms of the lead, and he's broken that DRS to Evil there. Well, nearly did. He was on that 1 second bubble, but fellow son won't be able to have a crack at the Ferrari driver here through into turn 14, as now it's on lap number 12 out of 31. 20 laps to go. Oh, Quincy has been involved in an accident. Safety car deployed. And when Andy had control of things, he's actually just approaching the pits now. That is incredibly lucky for him, but Quincy out of the race already, and that is 14th position. And now we have our first twist in the Grand Prix. Everybody comes in, and this is surely a one-stop race now for those that haven't pitted already. Enzo will be the one that's needing to stop again, and Andy RJ onto those harder compound of tyres. So I think he's played that beautifully, Andy. What does Herman do? That's going to be the main question. What does Rush the Series do as well? This is becoming one hell of an intriguing Grand Prix. It's the medium tyres for Herman, so he'll have to try and get something going when the race gets going again. But Danger David up into 5th now. What a drive from him. Truckster having to replace his front wing, and he's dropping positions as well. Race Chase up into 7th. Wouter back to 6th. But Danger David chipping away at things, being consistent. It pays to be consistent sometimes, and it has paid off here. He is now up into 5th and has hard tyres, and it's the same as everybody around him. Jolly Boy John onto mediums as well. Now, what does Enzo do? He's the only one. Well, he's one of the paper going into pit. Sir Ibo will be the last one, and Quincy will be devastated with that DNF. Such a great result for him last time out. It was. Let's just take a quick look. It was 5th place for him, and now it's going to be no finish at all for the Williams driver. But Andy Andre's lead is cut right down to absolutely nothing, and now he will control the grid when we restart. Now, it should be about either lap 14 or 15 when we get underway again. It is a long lap round here. Ouch, says Quincy in the chat. I mean, that's one way of stating disappointment, that's for sure. Too much real spin on exit. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. I'm sorry to hear that, Quincy. Again, like, you know, again, you come off a 5th place in Baku, and then it's down to 20th, well, a DNF for you next week. So we hope to see you again, rise above the ashes, come to Monaco. But there you go, really unfortunate. My one and only mistake this race, and it cost me big time. Oh, that is such a shame. But now a lap 12 out of 31, a safety car is deployed, and we will be racing hopefully next lap. So that would mean 15 out of 31 we would go again. But at the moment, the medium tyres runners, which consist of Enzo, Jolly Boy John and Herman, will be wanting this safety car to go on as long as it possibly can, preferably onto lap number 15, just to play it safe. But I don't think that's going to happen. Ibo is not too far away from catching this group of cars. At the moment, we are waiting for 5 cars to catch up. So that will be from 15th to 19th, which consists of Tark and Gino, all the way down to Sir Ibo here. Or Ibo, I should say. I do apologise. And now we are getting underway. Lap 14 out of 31 under safety car conditions. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, and Quincy will probably, may or may not remember this, but the first time I commentated ever on SSRL wasn't in Season 3, but I think it was Season 2, and it was actually around this very circuit, and of course we had a wet Singapore to end things, and that was my co-commentator Shamrock back in the day. And I think we only had 11 drivers finish that race, and it was, I will tell you the results in just a second of that race, at least the top 3. It was Evor, Andy and Snake occupying the top 3. Of course, Snake is not with us this week. It is Rolly taking his seat. And of course, reserve drivers cannot score points for the constructors, so he will just be in his own little race trying to score as many points as he can, trying for a full-time seat in Season 4 potentially. We'll see how that all plays out. But at the moment now, the fastest lap, well, the pole position time was taken by Herman, and it was the fastest lap of Andy Andre. That was a 1:33.528. So, of course, that's the, well, Andy's at least is at least one of the people in the podiums, but Ever as well, I should say. Ever at the moment, but they are swapping at the moment as our safety car is in this lap. So at the moment we'll talk about last time out. We've got to talk about right now because we are about to go underway yet again, and we are going to go on board with Andy Andre, his championship contender, right behind him. They're only separated by 8 points. We have 18 whole laps to see how this will play out. Rusta Siri could still try and make his way up, but he's down in 11th. He might have to settle for a 3rd place, a bronze medal in the grand scheme of things. But of course, we have a long way to go still. We are approaching halfway. Let's see how Andy Andre goes. And he leaves it very late, and Herman didn't really leave that napping, but look at Fallow Son. He's jumped up to 3rd position. Herman has stayed right with Andy, which is what he needs to do. Fallow Son and Evil go side by side into turns 1 and 2. Now through number 3, they're still side by side. This is for 3rd place. Evil wins out for now, but Fallow Son looking very racy, as is Danger David and Wouter. Keep an eye out for them. Ruster Series up a position as well, and we've had a caution in sector 1 for Ibo, but he's keep it underway, and now look at Andy going defensive into Memorial Corner. Let's see how the rest of the field play out. Race chase up into 7th as well. Great race for him so far. Wow, the Aston Martin nearly into the back of the Ferrari here, but Herman on those softer compound of tyres is right on the gearbox. of Andy Andre here. This is all playing out beautifully for Herman so far, but he has to look after those tyres till the end of the race. Those hards are guaranteed to go to the end, and the mediums will be a bit more unpredictable. They will wear out faster. But at the moment now, Andy, through these couple of corners, has been able to cushion out the gap. But of course, no DRS as it stands right now, and Evor hasn't been able to keep up. And look at fellow son trying to dive for third place, but doesn't quite get it done, has to settle for now. And oh, we've had a bit of carbon fiber go flying, and that's for fellow son. His front left end plate has gone. And now for the Aston Martin, that is bad news, because he's going to have to carry that to the end of the race, and that is the one track you don't want it to happen on. Look at Herman, though. He is right on the gearbox of Andy Andre, and here we go on to DRS-enabled lap. They won't be activated here, but it will be activated in the next zone. And the detection zone is coming right up. It will be after turn 3, which is right here. And now he is under a second. And surely now it is Herman's place to have. Through to Memorial Corner. Here we go. DRS opens. What can Herman do? We go on board with the V-Carb driver. Will Andy defend this? Not really. Is he going to try and do something into turn 7? No, Andy just gives up that place. So that is now Herman to the lead of the race. Energetic 6 and Gavachka now swapping positions there side by side out of turn 7. Rustler Series enjoying that. He's going to try and take advantage of this. Unable to. Truckster down to 11th so far. More bad luck for him. Not in terms of a DNF this time, but Truckster with a brave move. Coming through turn number 9 now through to the Singapore Sling. It's Kovachka that wins out in the end in the McLaren. What a move from him. And Rustler Series, well, still trying to hang back here and still trying to find a way through. Oh, but there's a bit of carbon fiber going flying. That's for Truckster on the front right ring end plate. That is awful news for him. And now 9th position, Energetic having a go back at Gavachka. They squeezes him to the outside wall at turn number 14. Here we go again, though. Rustler Series should have won as Ibo gets a warning for 3-second track limit penalties. Here we go again. The battle continues, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving with the Red Bull driver. And at the moment now, coming through to the final 2 corners, Herman the German with the fastest lap of the race at 1:30.550. But Andy Andre hasn't let him get away with that. So, still a fight to be had there. As now Danger David and fellow son go side by side through turns 1, 2, and 3. Lots of action coming to you in this Grand Prix. This is exciting stuff from all of the drivers around here. There is so much battling, so much action happening. And Race Chasers left the session for one reason or another. That's a disconnection, actually. And here we go, Danger David fighting for 4th again. Into Memorial Corner he goes. We go side by side. And it's the Red Bull who wins out, but that's only because he pushed the Aston Martin off. And the Aston Martin actually spins out. Nearly, but he Constantina's Danger David into 4 cars behind him. So that means that battle will have extra pressure for the Red Bull driver. We are seeing, I think that's Kovachka. Yeah, it is. Getting past the kick Sauber for obvious reasons. And now Rustler Series up into 9th position and needs to try and get past the AI-driven kick Sauber as it is right now. But there's a lot happening in a short space of time. Rustler Series with it. Oh, my word! That was a dive bomb from nowhere again! And Rustler Series surely out of this championship now. That's probably sealed it for him. His championship is over. And that was a very optimistic move from the Mercedes driver. And there you go. You can see his championship contention fall away in real time. That is a sad end to what has been a great season for the most improved driver in SSRL. But we have a caution in sector 3 for one of the kick Saubers. That is Enzo there, facing the wrong way. And he's missing half of his wing there. Look at that, has been completely torn off. Ibo now in the background there, and that has, well, Rustler Series in the pits now. A sad end to his championship, but maybe he could come back in the final few, as now Enzo has retired. Race Chasers joined back in at the most opportune moment, I would say. We have a caution in sector 1 for the retiring drivers, but that will gradually fade out as we go through. And now Rolly and Race Chase battling side by side with one another. Of course, Rolly might not know that Race Chase is back in that car, or Race Chase has just allowed him through. But at the moment right now, we have an intriguing battle for 1st and 2nd. We have an intriguing battle for, well, 5th position. Make that 4th position, actually, because Danger David is on a charge as of right now. He's done an excellent job. We'll see how many positions he's up as well. 5 positions, as well as Herman, who's also up 5. We have a caution in Sector 2. Who is that for? That is Tarkin Gino right there. 10-second penalty with a severe collision with Quan. I didn't see anything there that would signify that, but that is really unfortunate news. Oh, he's in the wall after the Singapore Sing, so that's exit of turn 12. And really bad news for him, but safety car deployed again. Safety car is deployed again, and that means Rush the Siri has got a lifeline as fellow Sun in the pits for one reason or another. Let's have a look at this. I don't know if he incurred some damage there. Let's just have a quick look. So he puts on a set of mediums. Yes, front wing damage. So he's had to replace the Jolly Boy John as well, following suit. And look at Rush the Siri. You should be able to benefit from this as well. A lifeline has been given to the... Well, he's too far back, actually. I take that back. He's going to be way too far to take any sort of advantage of this. Of course, he'll be needing to follow a Delta. Oh, it just hasn't gone his way. And now we have our, what I believe is 3rd safety car of the day. Can he get past some of the drivers before? Yes, he can. So he's got past Truckster. That will have been an important one as well. So that might just throw him back into the mix. But it is going to be a very optimistic run. But for the safety car, this really benefits Herman more than anybody. He doesn't need to use his tyres as much. And he's now leading the way, so we're going to have a couple of laps, because look at the gap between some of the cars. Tarkin Gino, 14 seconds away from the chasing pack, so this means it's going to be a 10-lap shootout to the rest of the race. As long as things stay as they are right now, this is our 3rd safety car of the day. But right now, Herman, with his championship on the line, will be looking to finish ahead of Andy Andre. And my God, what this would mean. Truckster again loses the podium. He's on soft tyres. They will not last, Truckster. I can tell you that for free. Sakanesi? Maybe. I don't know. I thought it was the 3rd. I'm losing count. Oh, Truckster with a 3-second penalty for what is track limit penalties. So I don't know where his penalty total is at now. Maybe Quincy. The stats are... What? Herman is coming into the pits. Why? That is a confusing call. I don't understand that. Why is he pitting now? Why? I don't get that. Is he... But that Rush the Siri. He's behind Rush the Siri. That is a terrible call. That is a terrible call from the Racing Bulls driver. Pen count is high for Trug. He just says, oh my word. Herman. And look, now he's behind Truckster. Oh, is he? No, he'll have to give that back. Surely. He has to get... Maybe not. Maybe the game says, no, that was okay. But that is a confusing call from the V-Carb driver. I don't understand that one little bit. Andy now has free road to get away. I don't know what Herman is hoping will happen there, but there is not enough time for him to make up those positions. I would love to know how that's been played out in the V-Carb. In the V-Carb team there. I don't get that call one bit. And that might only prove to be disastrous because Truckster behind is on softer compound of tyres, and while they will fall off, that will only hold him up, so he needs to get a great start out of this. Ferrari Strat, says Quincy, and you know what? I have to agree. For the constructors, it makes no sense either. You have given Aston Martin 3 points, essentially. And that was not necessary to do. I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face. I will let it go, though. But at the moment, we have Sinful in the Alpine catching up to the pack, and we will be racing next lap. And with, well, it'll be 10 laps to go at the line once everything is underway. That is going to be 1 car a lap to try and get himself back into the play. Is he planning for the Nest SC, maybe? I don't think so. It's a bit of a... It's a bold call if you're thinking about another safety car this late into the race. I would have, if I was in his position, I would have tried to consolidate it. That is, we'll see how that call plays out. We've really not got a lot of time at all. And yeah, we will be racing at the end of this lap. So the medium runners will be safe to the end as Race Chase for a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that is, well, the end of his race. And he might just hold things up. Well, he won't hold things up for another lap, that's for sure. But that will not help the Kick Saubers one little bit. One already out of the race, unfortunately, due to rage quitting. And now stranger things have happened. That is true. You've got me there. Stranger things have happened. But it is, usually that is a very late call. I'm just going to take a sip of water. It's getting really hot in my room. Anyway, after all of those calls, Andy Andre is in the lead of the race after having an excellent battle with the V-Carb driver of Herman. Evil in second. Danger David has steadily chipped away at this and is now up into third. Wouter fourth. Kovachka fifth. Sixth is Energetic. Seventh is Skid Solo. Eighth is Ibo from the back, but of course he does have penalties to serve after the race. 1 3-second penalty for track limit violations. Bello Son in 9th, Jolly Boy John in 10th, then it's Rush Nasiri in 11th, who might have a lifeline still, but now is Herman the German behind him as well. So Herman the German will be racing off of this, as will Truckster. Then, of course, Herman and Truckster, who we've just talked about, Quan in 14th, Rolly 15th, Tark and Gino 16th even, then 17th Simple, and then Race Chase 18th. But now, Andy Andre is going to lead the field away. Yeah, it's the third safety car. Surely. I can't be dreaming that. I think it is the third safety car. But anyway, enough about that. It might be 2, it might be 3. We're not totally sure. But anyway, Andy RJ leads the field. He needs to wait for the safety car to come into the pit lane. And then it's up to him when the field goes. Keep an eye on Herman and Rush Nasiri. They are 11th and 12th. Herman on fresh and medium tyres. But Andy RJ on the solid hard compounds. And here we go again. Evil caught napping at the restart. Andy Andre gets that early cushion. And now Evil surely trying to hang on. Fellow Son already up into 8th position. Didn't take long at all, but then he's classic. Oh, there's a Haas. That's really causing trouble. And I think that's given more damage to Herman. And that is why you do not come into the pits at so late of an opportunity in the race. That was a lot of collisions there. Basically, they were playing bowling with the Haas there. But the Aston Martin definitely at fault there. As Jolly Boy John and Fellow Son now go side by side with one another. And then all of a sudden, Skid Solo is side by side with Fellow Son there. Things changing faster than I can keep up with. Skid Solo forcing 2 drivers off the track there. That's Jolly Boy John. And look at Herman getting past Rush Nasiri, but Rush Nasiri not giving that up just yet. Nearly into the wall, but Rush Nasiri gives that up. And that's Herman up into 10th place and already caution is set to 2, but that is just Ebo there, just trying to get past. Look at Herman trying to hurry that Ferrari along. Will he try a Massa-esque maneuver into that turn number 13? And wow, Skid Solo making contact there with the V-car, but in the end it is Herman that wins out over the Ferrari. He might have to defend this, you know. That's not really what he would have wanted. Oh, and Skid Solo forces the V-car. Oh my word, Herman will not be happy with this. Herman will be seething in anger with that. And that is why you don't pit. Because now Andy Andre surely has the title under wraps. You've got to feel that now. As Rush Nasiri's still there though, so he could still make up a few positions. But that is gonna hurt Herman, and he will be seething that he made that call there. And that is why you don't do it. You just risk yourself getting into situations like that, and all of a sudden, well, he had good intentions. He didn't play it out smart. Danger David as well got a 3-second penalty for track limits while we were watching all of that. But Herman will surely be unhappy with Skid Solo's behaviour there, and I wouldn't blame him one little bit, to be honest with you. As now Quan makes his way past Skid Solo, we have a caution set to 2. SS, oh, Energetic 6 with the, has had a collision. He's out, and we have safety car. I think it's number 4. Called it, says Quincy. And he did. He calls it correctly. So Andy Andre, Herman is given a lifeline again. But well, Herman will have floor damage from all of that. Safety car allows him through, but, you know, I just can't help but feel like Herman made a really bad call there, and that could cost him the championship. Herman is back in the mix, but at what cost? I think it could still cost him, you know. I don't think he's all that there just yet. I really don't think it's all that simple. Herman will, well, Andy even will surely come into the pits at this first time of asking. I don't see, there you go, Cameron eventually catches up to him. And now there you go, does Evil follow? No! Evil does not follow suit, and neither does David, neither does Wouter. And that could mean that Andy Andre is now dropping back. He's now behind Rush the Series, so all of a sudden, Rush the Series, from 0 to 100, is now ahead of both of his championship rivals. Incredible! What a turnaround for Rush the Series. So our to overtake man should have stayed out. I agree. That is another questionable call. Not really rear wing and diffuser damage. Oh, and who is that coming into the chat? Hello, Mr. Zoxon. Oh, that could be somebody talking to Herman there. Rear rig and diffuser damage for Herman there, so he will... No. Absolutely not for Herman, and that... Yeah, he is going to be thinking about that call long and hard, and he'll wonder what he was thinking in the end, because that just brought him into danger when he really didn't need to. So all of a sudden now, and Herman now behind Tark and Gino. Well... It is going to be an interesting final few laps for Herman if he can make any progress. But now, Rush the Series needs to take advantage of what's happened around him and make up as many positions as he possibly can. The top 4, that was not on my bingo card when I came up. Herman plus Singapore equals cursed. I have to agree with that one. It's been really bad luck. Herman currently sitting on 1 point. So he's got a lot of progress to make up, but Andy as well is only 3 positions ahead. It's going to be interesting, that's all I can say. Well, you have geared yourselves up for a final few laps, which is going to be an absolute grandstand finish. Rush the Series between the 3 drivers leads the way, but Mr. Wouter as well is ahead, more importantly, and he can still have 3rd if Rush the Series struggles to find his way up, but we will see how that all plays out, of course. Jolly Boy John will be trying to keep the pack concertinaed together so that Herman can have a chance to overtake everybody. But Tark and Gino at the moment is way too far behind, as is Ibo. So we won't be racing this lap. So it'll be more than likely either this or next lap. And then all of a sudden it becomes a sprint race to the finish. So it'll be a 5 or 6 lap race to end this captivating Grand Prix. That's for certain. If I could give this Grand Prix one word, it would certainly be captivating, because now Rush the Series, from absolutely nothing, has a chance to get a great result and bring him back into the championship fight, but we will see how the final few laps play out for him. Evor at the moment, though, leads the way, and he was the winner last time out when we raced in Singapore. And boy, how he's enjoying feeling that yet again. And he is so, so close. But Danger David has been a constant danger. Yeah, the pun was not lost on me there. But Mr. Wouter, of course, will benefit from that if Danger David cannot get that 3-second window. So Danger David really just trying to hang on for the sake of staying outside. Keeping everyone behind. At 3 seconds away from him, so that will be how his race is turning out. But everybody has caught up now, so with 6 laps to go at the line, we will have what is essentially a 6-lap sprint race. Your championship contenders, I will remind you one more time: Rush the Series in 3rd, currently 7th. Andy Andre behind by 8 points, currently in 12th. Herman the German, leader by 8 points in 15th, and that is where your top 3 of the championship stand. Some questionable calls, and Rush the Series just unlucky, but now he is back in this race, and here we go now. Evil will lead the pack onto lap 26 now, and we are about to see one of the grandstandiest finishes, like we did last time out. When it rained, it poured, but when it smashes, it destroys. Singapore takes no prisoners, and we're about to see one heck of a finish. So, Evor, when are you going to go? Safety car is approaching the pit lane now. Will he do what Andy Andre did to him a few laps ago? Or will he go earlier? In fact, he's gone now. He's gone right now and catches Danger David napping. And now we have to keep an eye on everybody else. So Mr. Wouter needs to stay with this fellow son trying to go around the outside. Where's he come from? I thought he was out of this race, but we're 3 wide into turn number 1. The McLaren backs out, but no, he goes right into the back of the V-car there. And now the Haas is getting involved in all of this. And the Aston Martin spins. And Sinful has got a 3-second penalty. We have a caution in sector 1. And that is for Sinful there. So Herman already up to 14th. There, but Andy Andre is all up into 11th. There's the Aston Martin in the background, but the Aston Martin we're focusing on is Kwan, and we don't need to because Russ the Siri is up into 6th, but now Kwan racing in the top 10, and Skid Solo as well. Wow, and the Aston Martin nearly into the back of Russ the Siri there, but surely this is only a matter of time before the Mercedes gets past the McLaren. He could try going through the Singapore Sling if he's feeling brave. He doesn't notice how we have a crash in Sector 2. That is with Sinful. Can he get things going again? Yes, he can. So that is going to be all but ignored. Look at Russ the Siri there. Oh, no, he's lost control. Again, he's thrown it away. A chance. Why did he try? Why did he try that again? He lost control of the car. And that was it for him. And his championship, well, he's got Andy Andre in front now. So unfortunately for him, that is all said and done. Wow, it's all changing, but Mr. Wouter now trying to fight for first place. And look at this. I remember how this ended last time out, and it was in similar circumstances. The leader had a 3-second penalty, and if Danger David can find a way past, we will have the exact same circumstances that we had last time out. It is becoming enthralling for one reason or another. Herman up into 12th as well. And Trugster and Kwan are now fighting for position. They are side by side coming into turn number 5. And Trugster holds on to that for now, but he's got a... Oh, virtual safety car deployed! Why has that come out, I wonder? Well, oh no, Jolly Boy John has gone wrong into Memorial Corner. So that means... Russ Siri gets by. Or does he? I don't know. This is all becoming interesting all of a sudden. Virtual safety car deployed. Safety car deployed again! No! Safety car deployed! Look! Yellow dot! At the exit of turn 3! It's happened again! So that means this must be our 4th safety car then. Look! Danger David has no front wing either! It's happening again! It is playing out exactly like it did. And we are under full safety car conditions. Oh my word. Oh, wow. That is gonna be controversial because now we have... Well, I keep saying we'll have a grandstand finish, but now we will have... Well, a 2-lap sprint and not a lot of time at all. So Andy Andre outside of winning contention for sure. But Mr. Wouter now will fancy his chances if he can get past Danger David ASAP. And using those pit stops, not a good idea from Herman and from Andy Andre as well. It has cost them both some positions. So that means I think Herman will retain the lead of the championship, if only by a small amount. But of course, we will still have a couple of laps to knock out. Who's in the pits? It's Sir Ibo and Skid Solo. But there you go. Ignore virtual safety car. This is a full safety car yet again. And Sinful is trying to catch up with the pack. And I don't think we're going to be underway until lap number 30. So it is going to be a grandstand finish. It is going to be very similar to a fight way back when in 2021 that I dare not name for the sake of controversy. But it is that kind of finish that we have on our hands. But it's a shame Danger David has that 3-second time penalty. Could he try and bring Mr. Router into winning contention? Because Rush the Siri is all the way down in 10th. And he knows now that any pit stop could really bring him below Herman. And that's not what he wants. He wants to finish ahead of Herman so that he can still have a fight on with the championship. and try and recover for Monaco next week. And of course, Quincy choosing the most interesting of tracks to end Season 3. But my God, is it causing some great drama. It's causing grandstand finishes, and you cannot complain as well, because we all want drama. We want grandstand finishes. My bad, says Quincy. No, you're good. You're good. You should try changing that on its head at some point. You say you're good. You're good. Like, look at this. We've got one hell of a finish on our hands. Well, drivers might not be too happy about it, but oh well. As we have somebody here who's just joined in and then left, but of course there's no cars for him to race, so that's lucky for us. I think Sinful's had a moment. Yes, he has. He is now missing his front left end plate. Please just catch up to the field so that we can have this race get back underway. Please. Thank you. That'd be very nice. We have 2 more laps to knock out, though. And we have... Well, no, we'll have 2 more laps to knock out at the start-finish line, so we should be racing on this lap. Oh, Sinful's gone into the pits. I think that might hold us up another lap, so it will be safety car. Final lap, so essentially what the well, no, this wouldn't be green, white, checkered, what the NASCAR would call that. This will be just green, final lap, and then second. Oh no, safety car will go in now, according to Mr. Zock. Thank you very much. So regardless of what happens with Sinful, we are going to see the safety car in this lap then. Thank you, Mr. Zock, for the information as well. Cheers for passing that on and keeping me up to date. But anyway, Andre, even if he doesn't make up any positions now, he will be guaranteed 5th position. I don't know whether or not that's what he wants. I wouldn't think so. Herbert as well still has a bit of work to do in the background to get up. He really does need as many positions as possible, preferably getting past Rush the Series for his sake. I don't think the game will only give us 1 racing lap. No, I'd like to think so as well, but as Quincy said earlier on, stranger things have happened, and I am willing to bet we are still to see 1 more twist in the tail. We'll see how that all plays out, though. And yes, safety car in this lap. Sinful too far back to catch up, and they've just decided Massive would have fixed this by now. Hello, Benji. You catch us for the final 2 laps of SSRL round number 10. What a race it has been. Evor leads the way, was the winner last time out, and he looks like he's going to be the winner again, unless if Mr. Wouter has something to say about it. But safety car into the pits this lap around. Danger David with a damaged front wing, so it is important for Mr. Wouter to get this done as soon as possible. But where will Evor go? We'll find out. And he's gone now, so we are racing again. 2 laps to go. What can Mr. Wouter or fellow son do? They are both on track for the win. What is the BMW? What is the Williams going to do? Nothing at the moment. Through turns 1 and 2, he's very wide. Jolly Boy John and Quan having battle, and it is up to 8th for Jolly Boy John. But we are focusing on the battle for 2nd place. Mr. Wouter trying to find his way past. He might get it done up into Memorial Corner at turn number 7. Here we go. No DRS this time around. Here we go, though. This might be the one and only chance. The Red Bull squeezing him out. Caution in centre 1 for one of the Alpines. That's Tarkin Gino. But for 2nd place, it remains as it was. Danger David has no stakes this time. It's Kavachka in the background as well. Has just... Oh, he's crashed into the Haas. That is going to be one hell of a harsh thing to do. And Andy Andre now up into 5th. And now we have a caution set to 2 for a crashed Haas there. And that is all the way down to last for Chunkster. David about to hold up everyone. And in fact, that is what he's doing. He's not too far off. And look at Andy Andre. He is now in this. And look at Danger David. He's lost it on the exit. Mr. Wouter up in 2nd, but Evil too far away. Surely there's fellow son in all of this. Up into 3rd. And there you go. 2nd and 3rd is now Mr. Wouter, but Evil is too far back. Danger David trying to fight back, but no use at all. Here we go, though. Turns 16 and 17 coming up. No, Danger David cannot fight back, and there is Jolly Boy John. Where is Herman? He is up into 10th as of right now. Final lap now begins for Evor. 2.4 seconds away, and surely it is just too little too late, as there's another Haas in the barrier, and that is 16th to 17th for the Haas. Chunkster with a great qualifying, but it has all come to naught yet again. for the Haas driver. When will luck be on his side as now the Aston Martins begin to fight with one another for what is third place and what this would mean for Andy Andre. Here we go. They both have DRS. It doesn't look like there's any team orders at play. Here we go. 3 wide into Memorial Corner. Surely not. Round the outside is Sonny. Gets that done. What a move. And surely the Williams gonna just try and hold up Andy Andre now. He doesn't want him up any higher. And of course he's not really helping anybody out but Rush Nasiri and Herman here. Herman now up into 9th, and he's still got one more place to catch, but he's got that all secured as long as he's going to be within 7th. So in the end, we're going to see the championship contenders finish side by side with one another in the end. Unless, Jolly Boy John won't have anything to say about that, unfortunately. Rush Nasiri will at least have 5th position. As long as everything stays as it is, but Rush Nasiri needs to stay within that 3-second window. Herman the German now past Kovachka for 8th position. What a dive that is. But now Evor, who has been best of the rest for a long time in this race, is gonna come to the final corner. Wait, why is he going slow? As Mr. Walter loses the podium, and now Evor does come across to win again, and follows Son in 2nd, but who's 3rd? It's Mr. Walter and Andy Andre. Rush Nasiri in the end 6th. Herman the German 7th at the end. Wow. Yeah, it is 7th, 6th and 4th for your 3 championship contenders. Come on, Evor, the real 2-time champ. Indeed it is. It is Evor who wins out in Singapore yet again. Fellow Son 2nd. Mr. Wouter 3rd. What a podium that is. And that just shows you that the pit stops just weren't the right call at all. Well, what a race, what a Grand Prix, and what an ending we have incoming, because Rush Nasiri at least brings down that gap a little bit, even if it's not to Andy Andre. And Truckster gives us some donuts. He knows he's on the broadcast, but he will not be happy with how that played out. Kovachka getting a bit optimistic there into turn, what was it? Turn number 5 there, I think. No, it was turn number 8. There you go. Get it right eventually. And then just forcing the Haas driver of Truckster into the wall. Driver of the day goes to Rush Nasiri. And you know what? Considering he went through so much pain early in the Grand Prix, you can understand why that is. But there you go. It's all said and done. And I'm sure we're about to have interviews. Evil's already in here. We'll wait for the other 2. Fellow Sons here.
Hey guys.
Hello.
And there you go, everybody already talking away. Hello, everybody. This is your top 3 in the box. I will start with your winner. Congratulations, Evil. Singapore seems to be your track. It is another win round here, of course. Last time out, you did get the win. And how does it feel to be a double winner around this difficult track?
It felt pretty good. To be honest, I'm just winning because Andy got unlucky with the pits. We all saw he was dominating it, so it was on him. Then for the rest, I think at least 5 or 6 guys, we were very, very close. I did have some good battles, so I enjoyed it a lot. I thought I had a good pace, but Andy was on another level, to be honest. But it was a pretty fun race. Unlucky we got stuck later with the safety cars because half of the race was pretty good. Then, well, we know what will happen.
And now, of course, with everything being so mixed up, of course, we have a top 3 who aren't actually really in contention for the championship. Mr. Wouter was very distant in 4th place. And now, you've just come through and completely dominated. So how do you feel about your chances potentially next season? What would you say going into next season? Could you try and maybe challenge for the championship?
This one is for me?
Yeah, this one's for you, Evil.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I said it previously, this season, because of holidays and the new game and personal stuff, I was not going to be able to do everything. But I'm preparing for the next one, yes. I want to battle again for those high positions, absolutely.
And I guess now, in terms of future races, would you say that Monaco and Jeddah will be your strong points? I only laugh because it's Monaco.
Monaco is a pretty fun race to do yourself. It's not gonna be so fun, I guess, with all the safety cars. But if we can remove the safety cars, can't we? Because it is a fun track to do. The walls are very, very, very close, and you need to be very, very focused. If we have a lot of safety cars, eventually we will get bored, or we see that we start to commit a lot of more mistakes. We did some 13, 14 laps without anything, and then four safety cars. So it drives the attention out of everyone. So it's a little bit unlucky, but it's a fun track. I like it.
Okay. Well, Evor, well done on getting the win. If we do see you on the podium again in Monaco, well, we'll look forward to that. But thank you for taking on my questions this evening, and we hope to see you around here in the next couple of weeks potentially. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Who was actually second place? It was Fellow Son, wasn't it? I can't remember now.
Me.
So much happened. I think it. Or was it Mr. Welton? No, I can't remember.
No, it was me. You're not used to me being up here.
I honestly, that was such a race full of twists and turns. I can't believe it. Fellow Son, well done on second place, by the way. Congratulations to you. How did you get there? That's my question.
I think, to be fair, I was pretty much already there for most of the race. I think my
Mhm.
pace was quite good.
Yeah.
But then I had an incident when Russian Siri and someone else was fighting behind me. And I think he might have went too deep, but I just got hit from the side. So I lost a couple of places there. And then from there on, I just had a really unlucky race. So I don't actually know how I managed to get up to the top.
Mm. And I mean, well, there's a lot that happened around you. One, there was interesting pit strategy calls from a couple of drivers, so that helped you out there. But also, there was just a lot of incidents around you, and just taking advantage of that. When you came into the street race today, do you think of it as more of a race of attrition, or do you try and still go for it like you would on, let's say, Silverstone or something like that?
I just go for it. It's exactly the same. I like to stay on the track most of the time, so it doesn't really bother me if the walls are close. I don't try to make it too wide because I think I feel like there is more grip if you actually stay on the track. So I don't really mind. I actually prefer the street tracks, although I haven't practiced at all. So I'm a bit surprised.
Well, all the more power to you for coming second place. Well done to you. In terms of Monaco and Jeddah coming up, where do you think you'll be in terms of those races?
I'm gonna miss Monaco,
Right.
unfortunately, but I will be back for Jeddah, and that is one of my favorite tracks and the one I have been the most successful before. So I have a good feeling about it. It's probably not going to be first place with the pace of Andy and some of the guys around here, but I think if I manage to get another podium, that would be a win for me.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens in the next two races. Well, in the last race for you, sorry, because you won't be at Monaco. Obviously, have a good week's break, and then we'll see you for Jeddah, which will be the finale for Season 3. Fellow Son, congratulations on second this week. Maybe we'll see you in Jeddah. Have a good one till then.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Now, I say second to last because we do have Herman waiting for an interview as well. Mr. Wouter, congratulations on third place. Of course, you are currently trying to secure fourth place in the championship, and that surely only goes a long way to doing that, and maybe even third if things go your way, if Russian Syria has a couple of more DNFs. How do you feel about this week's race?
Yeah, relatively happy because last week was an absolute stinker for me. Made 2 mistakes on my own and even took out Truckster along the way. It's not really nice. This race, I made maybe a how would you say 50-50 overtake on John. I tried to give the place back, but we'll have to see what comes out from that. But for the rest, it was I had decent pace. Just decided not going to fight a lot because it's easy that you end up in the wall, and it worked out in the end, finishing third. I even said in the party in the last safety car, watch this, fellow son is going to pass me, and then David I have to pass as quickly as possible, and if I pass David as quickly as possible, then I have a small chance to finish in third. Well, it happened, so predicted.
Well predicted. Now, in terms of, I don't know if I've asked you this already, but of course we are going to be finishing with Monaco and Jeddah. So in terms of those two tracks, do you feel like we could see you on the podium again, or maybe this has been the last visit?
Nah, usually pretty good at street tracks, with the exception of Baku. I hate it. So that's actually what you could see last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be good. One disadvantage is that I won't touch the game until next week due to private reasons on
Gotcha.
Tuesday. So going into Monaco without practice will be will be a bit of a how to say disadvantage
Yeah.
to put it a little bit light.
We'll see. All right. But otherwise, congratulations on third place. Hope to see you again either in Jeddah or Monaco. But otherwise, hope everything works out for you, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last but not least, your championship leader going into this round, Herman the German. Well, that race didn't play out as good as you expected. Just one strategy call, unfortunately, really kind of messed up your race. I really want to ask that call to go on to what I think was the medium tires or the soft tires. What was going through your head in that strategy call?
You probably mean the second safety car after I was already on the fresher, but medium that would have probably not lasted that long. So in practice, I found out that extending the medium stint even at the end with low fuel car wouldn't do that well. And then we had the safety car earlier on, and still under the safety car they were out a lot. So yeah, I was kind of thinking that going through just a couple of guys inside the field would still give me a benefit at the end. And I think at that stage and with the pace and how again a safety car screwed the hard tire strategy was going with Andy's pace. I think second was the best I could do. And I think that was pretty much possible with everyone behind staying out, and pace was good early on. So yeah, in hindsight, especially with even more safety cars than predicted. Last time we were saying that maximum of 3, but this time we got 4 actually. So that obviously didn't help. And then yeah, just didn't want to stay on a hard tire that would have worn out on the rear so much that there's a chance to crash. And with 18 laps of like pure race pace to go and pushing to keep Andy behind, that's like an extra every lap as well. So yeah, would have been a high risk, and at this stage, I didn't want to take it. There's still 2 races to go, and yeah, felt like the best strategy to play it safe. In hindsight, would have stayed out and just waited for the usual 1 or 2 more safety cars we had in the last week as well. So yeah, that was the idea behind the call there.
I see. Okay. Going into the final 2 rounds now, I would say you're not necessarily at a disadvantage. There's still 2 races to go, so things could still turn around, but you probably don't have as much of a lead. I mean, it was only 8 points to begin with, but it's definitely slimmed down by quite a bit now. So how are you feeling going into the final 2 rounds with it being Monaco and Saudi Arabia? I just want to know where your head's at right now in terms of that
Yeah,
championship.
that was the race I was like already treating like it was the last one, because if I could have won this, there would have been quite an advantage on how the race turned out. With the collision I had with Skid, and then my underbody and wheel ring were damaged, so the car was very much on the edge all the time, so couldn't extract more pace. I was really hoping that this race would go at least a podium, but the gap isn't that big, as I pretty much fought all the race after that collision. So yeah, Monaco is going to be tricky because qualifying is not on my highest level anymore compared also to last game, and I think Andy's going to take that. Or maybe someone else, and I have to be inside a fight there. But honestly, there's only one way to do it with strategies again, and that didn't really work so far. And for Saudi, I think that's going to be one of the trickiest ones, because I don't really like it and it doesn't really suit my driving style with the current styles of setup as well. And I think Andy has a major advantage there. So if anything, Monaco is already like one of the playing grounds you need to totally perform at, and the worst that basically can happen is already when he is like winning, and I'm only second because that's the biggest margin you can gain over a competitor with this point system. So really need to be in there for Saudi and Monaco as well. I'm gonna put some practice in, and just like I did for Singapore. So chances are not the greatest. I really didn't need the DNF in Zandvoort and this race today.
And yeah, I'm a bit on the back foot. I say Andy has the advantage now. I'm fighting upward here better, so yeah, kind of need a bit more luck than the last 3 races as well in terms of safety cars. So
Yeah.
every time they were in really my advantage. Next time we're gonna start on the mediums. There's not coming one as well. I can predict almost. There's a certain feeling to that. So I don't know. Maybe a totally crazy wet race in Monaco is gonna change this whole thing anyway, and then we have a totally different conversation when someone of us crashes out. So all up the stars right now, to be honest.
Well, just before I leave you, I just want to let you know Quincy has just let me know that you are now down to a 3-point lead over Andy in the championship. So take that from that as you will. It could have been bad, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, it could have been way worse, way worse. So yeah, a bit of a yeah, light in the dark in terms of how the situations before going into Monaco. So I take that still.
Okay. Well, Herman, thank you very much for taking my questions after such a difficult race. I'll let all of you go, and I am now going to sign off. So, guys, thank you all so much for taking my questions, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for casting. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Chatterino Batterino. It is another race round SSRL, which brings the drama. It brings the chaos that we so look for in our F1 races. Again, Herman now down to a 3-point lead between himself and the current world champion, Andy Aldre. But Rustasiri still poking his head in. If he can get a good result in Monaco, we'll have one hell of a finish going into Jeddah. But join us same time next week for another entertaining race around SSRL from wherever you may be in the world. I wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive. We will see you next time. Bye for now.